Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am Monica of Million Monica over on the Poshmark app, where I am a full-time seller. And today I have my top 10 vintage items that I look for at the thrift store to sell over on Poshmark. Now, you probably all heard that denim is gold, and I know for me that is true. I sell a ton of denim over on the Poshmark app, and I love selling vintage denim. If you've known me or been following me for a while, you know that I really enjoy selling vintage clothing, and that's actually what I started selling on Poshmark was my vintage collection. So these are all items that I look for at the thrift store. They're items that I have my mom and grandma look for when they're out just doing some thrifting as well. And something that I just kind of want to point out and just kind of maybe remind people is that, you know, if you live in a smaller rural area, these are items that you will more than likely find. And so that's kind of what I love about vintage and denim is that you can find them. You can find these styles just about anywhere you are shopping or just about any thrift store. So you're probably already seeing this, but the first item, my first denim item that I'm going to talk about and the first style that I definitely look for is denim jackets. And so I am wearing a denim jacket right now. This is one that I am keeping for myself. I tend to keep a lot of denim jackets for myself because I like to have different styles, different cuts, different washes for just about every outfit I could think of. So this one is definitely unique because someone actually sewed on these little square patches, and they're just a really pretty floral design, and they have them along the cuff, here along the shoulder, and then there's also on the back. And you might be wondering like if there's certain brands that I look for, and I don't really focus on brands so much as just the quality of the item. And generally the great thing about selling vintage is that quality is generally a thing because they've been around for a while. If they've lasted this long, they've generally got some quality to them. And so, you know, a lot of times with vintage denim specifically, it might be a little distressed or discolored. It might have some, you know, fraying, and that's okay because people kind of are looking for that. It's in style, so it's trendy, it works. The next item is pretty unique as well. So this is a denim vest, and it has this painted on floral design on both sides, and this was actually hand painted. I am almost 100% sure of that. And the artist's name is down here on the bottom, and that's just really cool, and I think it really makes this a statement piece. And I think this could be really marketed for festival season, you know, just a funky kind of thing to throw on when the weather maybe starts to cool down a little bit. So this is, I think, going to be a great piece for spring. And also I just want to point out the label. It's not any specific well-known name, but it is a vintage label. You can tell kind of the lettering, the design of the lettering. And also if you flip this up, there's the kind of the bare threading, very common of vintage labels. So that's something to kind of look for in your labels. This next item is another top, and it is more of a lighter weight denim, so more of a chambray like material. And of course right away you're seeing that this is another unique item. It has this embroidery, and it is a tribal Aztec design. Now, when you're selling vintage denim and it doesn't have a specific brand that people are seeking out, it's really important to include specific keywords. And I just can't place enough emphasis on that. You must describe your items, especially when they are vintage, because they don't have that name brand that people are looking for. So when I am marketing this, I'm going to describe it as vintage, as tribal, as Aztec, as denim, chambray. All those are so important to get those viewers to allow my customers to find this item. Now this tag is very classic of maybe the late 80s, 90s. It's kind of got that funky design, and if we flip it up, the threading on the back, so that is a good indicator that it's vintage. And this tag here is so worn that I can't even read anything. There's no text left on that. So I will have to measure it and make sure that people can compare measurements and make sure that this item would work for them. So the first three are all tops: the jacket, the vest, and now the button-down shirt. This next item is actually a dress, and it is, on me, it's a maxi dress. On someone taller, it might be more of a midi dress. And so again, those are really important keywords to include when describing items so that people can find what they're looking for. And this is just kind of a basic collared shirt dress and pretty much just a straight style. Sorry, it's a little wrinkly. It does have these cool like side slits on both sides, which make it a little easier to walk in. And it just like buttons, kind of a pop over shirt dress, and it has little breast pockets. Now again, this is no really popular brand. It's not a popular brand at all, but the style is what makes this a sought after piece. I sell a lot of dresses like this, and what I really love about this one in particular is the little bit of stripe. So there's just a really faint, like almost railroad stripe, and that is another often sought after keyword, would be stripe, that people are just looking for. And I really personally like wearing this style of dress because in the summer you can wear it sleeveless, and in the winter I like to layer it with a turtleneck or leggings. So we have the dress, and now we have a skirt. So a lot of these items are my own personal items, so I apologize if you really like some of these items. I do have other similar type items available in my closet, but I did pull a lot of my own. So the jacket is mine, that dress is from my own personal closet. Now that's not to say I won't eventually sell it, so you might want to keep your eye out. But this I actually bought on Poshmark for myself. So this is more of a well-known vintage brand, and that is Guess. So people would maybe be searching out a vintage Guess skirt, and this is more of a style from like the late 90s, early 2000s. And generally, vintage items are anything that's 20 years or older. So currently, 1999 or older would be considered vintage. However, with name brand high-end designers, can be considered vintage at 10 years or older. So just keep that in mind. This isn't like an extremely high-end designer brand, but it is more well-known. And it is not a mini skirt, but on me, again, I'm pretty petite, I'm pretty short. This hits about knee length, and I just think that's a really flattering length on people, and on me especially. And then it has a little front slit, which I always think is just makes things a little bit more comfortable when you're trying to walk, when it's a little bit more fitted. And this is more of a high-waisted skirt, which is kind of hard to tell, but that it does fit a little higher on the waist. And right now people are definitely looking for kind of a higher rise. It does have back pockets. A lot of vintage skirts that I pick up don't always have back pockets, but this one does. Okay, and so our next bottom is another of my own personal vintage collection, and this is a pair of denim shorts. Now this pair is particularly unique because of its floral design, and it might not even look like denim to you, but it is. So it is a white denim with pink floral design, and along the hem is actually raw, but someone, I think someone put the lace trim on themselves. I don't think that is how they were originally made, but I think someone added it on there, and personally I love it. It makes the shorts, it makes the inseam just a little bit longer, and I appreciate that. So these are my own personal shorts, and they are a super high rise, which I really like, and they do have back pockets. So I love looking for unique prints of denim like this. because people are seeking out just something kind of fun that's more of a statement piece. Now we're going to be moving into denim jeans. The next 4 items are jeans specific, and I'm going to show you 4 different styles of jeans. So just keep in mind that the next 4 are all jeans. How many times can I say that? So this first pair is kind of funky, and it might not be for you at all, but I have sold a few jeans similar in style to this, and I think they're becoming more trendy. So we'll see. I think they're kind of funky, they're fun, they're definitely unique. So this pair of jeans is definitely high rise, and I mean, it's like a super high rise actually. But what you'll notice, and what I'm sure you're noticing right away, is this front pleating, and that is definitely unique. Most jeans do not have that type of pleating in the pockets, and this is kind of like paperboy type style of denim, especially because when you turn it over, it has more of a trouser pocket, back pocket, and it's kind of more of a bare back. So this is kind of more of a paperboy style pant, and what I super love about this pair is the bottom ankle detail. So it has snap buttons here at the ankle, which make this just really fun. You can wear them open, you can wear them snapped shut, and the snaps have kind of a tribal Aztec again design on them. And something else I wanted to point out about this pair is that they have a really, it's gonna be hard for you to see, they have a tapered wide kind of leg at the thigh. So the tapering of the leg just means it's kind of thicker, baggy or loose through the thigh, and then it gets kind of more narrow at the ankle. So that is a tapered, loose leg. This is not going to be a super tight fitting jean on most people, so that's really important to include in the description as well. The next pair of jeans is actually a straight leg. So that was tapered. The next pair is a straight leg. This is a well-known, popular brand. It's Levi's. So this, again, is a pair of my own personal pants, but I have a ton of vintage Levi's available in my closet. So if you are looking for a vintage Levi's specifically, you can find some in my Poshmark closet. I just pulled this one from my personal closet. So it's a light wash, which I really find that light wash does very well on Poshmark. And there's not a whole lot of distressing. However, I did cut the hem because I'm short and I wanted them to be shorter. So I cut them. This is my own personal pair, so I knew what length I wanted them to be. I think if I wanted to sell these, you know, someone would still buy them. I have done that before where I've cut my own jeans and then sold them on Poshmark, and it's never been an issue. I just, of course, measure the inseam and let people know what the inseam is. Now, they are high rise, they are Levi's, they're the light wash, and they're the straight leg. So I look for straight leg as well when I'm at the thrift store, and I'm always looking for vintage Levi's. That is always a brand that I'm looking for and a really popular seller. So that is definitely one to keep an eye out for. This next pair is for sale in my Poshmark closet. I was so bummed that this pair of pants did not fit me, so I need you to go buy them. As soon as you see them, you're going to know why. This is everything I love in a pair of vintage denim. So they are colored, so they're a dark green, a super high rise, button fly, okay? Oh, just everything right there. But they have a super wide leg. This is just like a wide, straight legged. It's a really wide leg, and I just think it's so flattering. They do have the back pockets, and it's vintage LEI, which is still made today, but this is definitely an older style from probably the late 90s, maybe early 2000s. There's no year on this, so it is kind of hard to tell, but it is more of a ribbony label. So again, like if you look in here, you can see the, I shouldn't say ribbons, I should say threads. You can see those threads in there. More modern LEI tags do not have that. So what we're looking for here in this style, in this particular denim, is the color. Anything with button fly does really well, you know, button fly shorts, button fly jeans. That's a great keyword that people are searching and looking for. And then as we are moving into 2019, the wider leg denim is kind of coming back into trend. So that is something that I think people are going to be searching out as well. Now, my last style of jean and the last style or item that we're going to talk about, I don't have an example of because they have all sold, which is a good thing. I'm not complaining. I wish I had a pair I could show you at the moment, but I don't. I have great luck selling any type of vintage overalls. So I have found some really funky pairs. I have found striped overalls, I have found colored overalls, I have found embroidered overalls. You name it, I have found some really funky pairs, and actually I shouldn't even give myself all the credit because my grandma in North Dakota has found a majority of those funky overalls. My grandma actually has found a lot of vintage overalls in North Dakota in a very rural area, and they have all sold for me. So just keep that in mind when you are outsourcing. These are 10 items that you can definitely look for at the thrift store, garage sales, estate sales, maybe even Facebook Marketplace. Be creative. I'm sure you can find all 10 of these items, these styles, in your area that you can sell on Poshmark to make some extra cash. And if you like this video, if you like seeing different styles, if you like seeing clothing, if you like seeing hauls, I do all kinds of that type of content here on YouTube. So if you like it, please give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel so that you will be notified whenever I have a new video up. And thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.